A massive offseason for the Patriots can put them right back into the conversation. How far can they go? Answering that and more right after the intro.
Perfect.
Before we get too far into things, subscribe to support the channel, and of course, get the bell on to know every single time I'm dropping a video. And with that out of the way, it's on to the content. So Bill Belichick watched Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown go on to win Super Bowl 55 from home on his boat out in Florida, and decided this offseason it was not gonna happen again. Made a huge splash in free agency, signing a number of key players to add to the Patriots roster. After last year going 7-9 and missing the playoffs for the first time in over a decade, well, the Patriots opened up the checkbook, and we're gonna take a look at a lot of those moves right now. First things first, brought back a familiar face, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders. The offensive tackle, Trent Brown, was there for the Patriots' last Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 53. After a contract restructure, bringing things to a one-year, $11 million deal, Trent Brown is going to be the right tackle more than likely along this Patriots offensive line that honestly was already pretty good to begin with, and then they moved on from Marcus Cannon after that move. The passing game was honestly a huge sore spot for the New England Patriots last year, so the Patriots went out and added two of the best free agent tight ends this offseason. First things first, with Hunter Henry of the Los Angeles Chargers. Hunter Henry is going to absolutely help in the red zone, the vertical side of the passing game, and has great pass catching ability, is really going to fit into Josh McDaniels' schemes. But they didn't stop there, adding tight end formerly of the Tennessee Titans, Jonnu Smith, who is an absolute athletic nightmare, a freak in the red zone. Last year scoring 8 touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans. The Patriots passing game already was a sore spot. The red zone efficiency in the passing game was a sore spot. So adding 2 elite level passing targets into this offense is going to pay dividends for quarterback Cam Newton. But they didn't stop at the tight end, signing wide receiver Nelson Agholor, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders as well. Nelson Agholor coming off of the best year of his NFL career, and then wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, a stout route runner who's going to, again, just add to a passing game that last year was, well, shabby. So if you know Bill Belichick, he didn't stop on the offensive side of the football. One of the biggest splashes they made in free agency, getting outside edge rusher, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens, Matt Judon, a 2-time Pro Bowler for the Ravens. Matt Judon is going to help add to a pass rush that is going to pay dividends into the secondary that is elite with a number of great players on that back end. Matt Judon, his ability to get after the quarterbacks is going to be paramount for this defense that on paper is looking even better this year. Belichick also brought back a familiar face in Kyle Van Noy after a year's trip with the Miami Dolphins, bringing him right back into New England, where Kyle Van Noy honestly made his name. And Kyle Van Noy, already very familiar with how things run in New England, had some amazing years and a couple of Super Bowls along the way. Van Noy being back into this defense is going to be huge, because honestly, he can do it all. He can pass rush, he can sit back in coverage and block off some of those passing lanes. I love this move a lot. I was really excited to see Kyle Van Noy being brought back. And the final free agency addition I wanted to mention is defensive back Jalen Mills, who can either play safety or cornerback. Just another solid veteran depth signing for the New England Patriots. So even outside of free agency, the New England Patriots also made a couple of big moves in the NFL draft. Firstly, in the first round, getting the quarterback of the future in quarterback Mac Jones out of Alabama. Honestly, the reports coming out of Patriots camps and OTAs about Mac Jones has shown nothing but positivity. Apparently, he's learned the playbook almost already. It's just a matter of implementation. There might be even a quarterback battle between him and quarterback Cam Newton, who is reportedly 100% healthy. So that's going to be something interesting to watch moving forward. And then defensive lineman Christian Barmore, who in my opinion was a first-round talent, fell into the second round for the New England Patriots. So again, just adding onto the Bill Belichick defense, the defensive line, going to help make plays for the secondary and those linebackers. I'm really excited about this Patriots defense because honestly, the defense is absolutely stacked. The return of Dante Hightower is going to prove dividends for the Bill Belichick defense. Dante Hightower, of course, has spent his entire career with the New England Patriots. After opting out last year, is making his return this season. Dante Hightower, again, just a huge leader for the New England Patriots defense, has seen it all, an incredibly successful player throughout his entire football career, even in college and even high school, going all the way back to things. So Dante Hightower, incredibly missed last year, is going to be a huge piece brought back this year in the secondary. Re-signing J.C. Jackson, last year's interception leader for the organization, was one of the NFL's interception leader, right behind in-division rival Xavier Howard, and then safety Devin McCourty, bringing things out of the safety position. Another just veteran, all-pro level player. Honestly, not getting enough recognition throughout his career. Devin McCourty is one of the more slept-on players in the NFL, and of course, how could you forget one of the best corners in the NFL in cornerback Stephon Gilmore. So Gilmore and the Patriots dealing with some contract talks. All that situation notwithstanding, the Patriots defense on paper, there is a ton of talent, but let's take a little look at the offense too. Offensively, well, the offensive line is going to be huge for the New England Patriots this year. Isaiah Wynn, Michael Onwenu, David Andrews re-signing, Shaq Mason, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, Trent Brown, a very solid front line for this offense, making way for quarterback Cam Newton, who also re-signed this offseason, and then who knows, maybe even Mac Jones at some point this season. And then, honestly, the running backs, a little bit of an interesting situation, but it very likely is going to be Damian Harris leading the way. So all the talent out of the way, the Patriots have the 19th toughest schedule in the NFL this year, according to CBS Sports. They've got them at a .489% opponent win percentage. So things are looking kind of favorable for the Patriots in 2021 with a reloaded roster. And even though last year, 2020, going 7-9 didn't really help the situation last year, the New England Patriots have a lot to look forward to this season. So let's just get what you came here for, predicting the New England Patriots regular season, starting things off at home against the Miami Dolphins, then heading over to New Jersey to take on the New York Jets, followed by the New Orleans Saints, and then Tom Brady's return to Foxborough in Week 4 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, followed by the Houston Texans down in Texas. So an interesting first 4-game stretch for this New England Patriots roster. I wouldn't be too surprised here if they go on a 3-2 stretch with possible losses to the Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a tendency to split the series these past, like 6-7 years with the Miami Dolphins, whether it's home or away. And then Tom Brady and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster are just stacked up from top to bottom. As a Patriots fan, I want to see the Patriots win that game, but as an NFL fan, I'm just going to be completely real here. I think the Buccaneers are probably going to walk in and give the New England Patriots a fit at home, but the fans that are actually going to be there in attendance to celebrate the return of Tom Brady, it's packed. The seats are going for like $3,000, even for the nosebleed seats. Going to be an exciting game, but don't be shocked. Patriots' first 5 games going 3-2. Week 6 through 10 see them taking on the Dallas Cowboys at home, followed by the New York Jets once again, then going out to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, followed back with a trip to Carolina to take on the Panthers, and then at home against the Cleveland Browns in Week 10. So the biggest test along this stretch for me are the Cleveland Browns, and the Los Angeles Chargers are probably not going to be any kind of joke, but last year's performance against the Los Angeles Chargers gives the Patriots some hope. Even with the disheveled Patriots roster last year, they were able to easily handle those Chargers. But the Cleveland Browns are an absolute playoff team. I mentioned a couple weeks back, I even consider them one of those Super Bowl contenders coming out of the AFC. So during this stretch, don't be surprised if they end up going about 4-1, bringing their record to a total of 7-3. Checking out weeks 11 through 15, heading down to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons, then taking on the Tennessee Titans at home, on a road trip after that to the Buffalo Bills, a week 14 bye, and then heading out to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. So within this 4-game stretch here, outside of the bye week, of course, don't be shocked if they go 2-2 here. A couple of tough games along this stretch. The Colts and the Buffalo Bills are no joke, and of course the Tennessee Titans are another playoff Super Bowl contending team in the AFC. I think they could go 2-2 with a possible win over the Colts with the extra week of rest and preparation. So this would bring their record to a total of 9-5 heading into that final 3-game stretch. Checking out weeks 16 through 18, you got the Buffalo Bills at home, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Foxborough, and then rounding out the season with the Miami Dolphins. I wouldn't be too surprised if they go 2-1 here with a loss to the Buffalo Bills. I still think the Bills are a possible division winner here. The Bills are just a tough roster up and down. If Josh Allen can play and compete at the level that he was playing at last year, don't be shocked if the Bills are still gonna win the division. But I think the New England Patriots, with a 2-1 stretch here, dividing that series between the Miami Dolphins and themselves in half, they're gonna make the playoffs, and they're probably gonna be a solid wild card team. At 11-6, this is an absolute improvement over last year's below 500 finish with 7-9. 11-6 is absolutely nothing to scoff at. 11 wins getting them into the playoffs as possibly that 6th or that 7th seed. I don't know how far the New England Patriots can go. Bill Belichick's still an amazing coach, can take them very far, but it just remains to be seen. Obviously, you're going to have to factor in injuries throughout the season, performance of some guys, the quarterback battle possibly brewing between Cam Newton and Mac Jones. If Cam Newton's performance slips, will there be calls for Mac Jones? Who knows? But I do think this Patriots roster from top to bottom is a very competitive one. I think this team could very well make the playoffs. They might be a wild card weekend exit at the most. I think I could see them going into the division round and then playing against some of those even tougher teams in the AFC. They're an improving team. They will improve this season, in my opinion, barring anything catastrophic. But I don't think there's anything to be disappointed at. Maybe it's not a Super Bowl as the Patriots have become accustomed to over the last, 20 years, but a playoff appearance shows a good sign and a good path for the future of the franchise, and I think that's something to just be excited about at all. And before we finish things here, it really just relies on Cam Newton's performance. There have been reports that have come out that said Cam Newton is 100% healthy. He feels really good, really confident for the first time since 2016. The performance of this offense could very well depend on, Cam Newton's performance. Last year, he looked really, really good prior to getting COVID-19 and missing a game, and then along that stretch, just getting out of sync into the offense. He talked a lot about that on his I Am Athlete podcast. So, look, Cam Newton at 100% health could be huge for the New England Patriots offense, could be huge for this New England Patriots team. We've seen when Cam Newton is 100% healthy, he can play at an MVP level. Early on in the season last year, before he got COVID, the Patriots were competitive with teams like the Seattle Seahawks, putting up 35 points a game. So, a fully fledged Cam Newton could be a scary offense for the rest of the NFL. So, fellow Patriots fans and NFL fans alike, I am absolutely excited for this season. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like post-training camp, getting a first looks at preseason coming up really shortly. So, thank you so much for watching the video. Feel free to, of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, get the bell on to know every single time I'm dropping a video. Check me out. All my social media is down in the description below. And my name is Tristan Blake Rines, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Adios.